On a sweltering hot day in Calgary, what better place to be than the Markin McPhail Centre at Winsport as we get set for the final day of Hockey Canada's U17 development camp, getting set for the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge coming to Langley and Delta, BC this November. That event coming back for the first time since 2020, or since 2019 in the late year, I should say. And it's Team Black against Team White. Final game of this camp for Team White. For Black, they will play twice today to finish off their camp schedule. My name's Tyler King. Great to have you with us with the whole crew from HN Live, bringing you this one on hockeycanada.ca. To our left in net for Black, Gabriel Daig was absolutely magnificent in their opening game, allowing only one goal. Carter George is off to our right between the pipes for Team White. We'll introduce you to the rest of these players in just a moment as the jostling begins right away. And we are underway in the third to last game of this U17 camp. Team Black 1-1 so far in this one as it's carried in by White's Roger McQueen. The quick centering feed there, nearly fed in by Trey Wilk on a sharp angle shot from McQueen's beautiful setup from the right circle. And nearly 15 seconds in, we almost had our first goal of this one. White had the highest offensive output of this tournament earlier on when they had 12 goals in their opening game against Team Gold. And there we got a good look at Roger McQueen. Right now there is Gabriel Daig, the goaltender for Team Black. 6'3", 191. Remember, these are all 06 born players, either 15 or 16 years old. And although the shot count wasn't made official, it was nearly 30 saves he made in that first game for Team Black in this camp, and a big 5-1 win they had over Team Red. It was the second overall pick in the QMJHL draft to the Victoriaville Tigres, and is certainly turning a lot of heads here at this camp as Gabriel Frasca's back in his own end for White to set up. 12 goals in their first game, then they had outputs of 4 and 3 goals in the two subsequent. They've got two of the top scorers in this camp so far, as this one taken away by Thomas Desrousseaux. That's 17 in Black, knocking it up the wall there. Kept in again. Josh Fluker swung that wide of the cage. And White back in their own end here, trying to chip this one out as we get our first board battle of this one. Desrousseaux again. Pressured down there. There were 3 White forecheckers there to take the puck back. So now it's flung wide again. Another pickup here for Bill Zonin of White. Got it to the blue and just out to neutral. Sam Dickinson couldn't corral that at neutral, and back here is Josh Fluker in his own end. Which is that one back over to Dickinson. And a long feed to neutral. Chipped ahead, Ryder Ritchie got that into White territory as both teams are on changes. So a chance here for Reed Varconi to carry his way in. Cut off down low by Owen Phillips for Black. And again, White corralling in their own end. Benjamin Danford. As this one whistled on a delayed offside there. Benjamin Danford, number 3 on White, the Madoc, Ontario native. If you're wondering where Madoc is, by the way, if you drew a straight line between Toronto and Ottawa, it would be basically right in the dead center of that straight line. One of 2 players on this team from the Quinte Red Devils AAA squad. So it's carried in here again by Varconi for White. Spun back down low. And again, it's Caden Lindstrom here, putting it back out to the red. Scooped up and turned. Caden Petra carries in. There's a quick pass across, and Clark Caswell was denied on a nice blocker stop from Carter George. Another chance for Fortier Gendron. He'll put it across to Phillips. Fortier Gendron there, harangued by Varconi, who can get it all the way back to the black-blue line. They'll recollect here at neutral. Owen Phillips again. That feed. Tape-to-tape pickoff that time for Xavier Veilleux, who'll carry in, pressured, but still got it back down low to Martone. His feed through the slot misses everybody, and Braden Rogers has to go back and get this one. He's only 15, is Rogers. Doesn't turn 16 until November 21st. 5'11", Belleville, Ontario native. He's the other player from the Quinte Red Devils we were mentioning there. As a feed through the slot, just bounced over Carter Lowe's stick there for Team Black. Nearly able to get that first one. Here's Veilleux with the recollect for White. Only a couple of whistles in this one as Veilleux got knocked down back behind the play. Seen plenty of physicality at this camp as well. As Black can take this again, Henry Muse now. Bounces this one ahead, and it's a breakaway pass for Carson Wedge. In shoots, scores! Carter Lowe with that one, taking it at the neutral zone, speeding his way in and snapping that one past George. And the Toronto Marlborough sniper makes this one a 1-0 game. Carter Lowe, the 26th overall pick in the OHL draft to the Barrie Colts. His first goal of the weekend on a great pass from their own end by Team Black to open the scoring in this one and make it a 1-0 game. Ritchie chips this one down low. Antonio Tersini giving chase. Jonas Wu swept that one away for Team White. Ahead now for Zonin. Got it out to the red. Now another stretch feed. Almost a breakaway chance for Berkeley Catton that time. He's offside though. And Team Black's got a retreat here. Gives White some time to settle things down. And Jonas Wu will speed his way through the center circle. Zigzag his way in and shoot one that just missed wide. Daigle couldn't pounce on it as it pops back up to the slot for Zonin. That shot doesn't get its way through. Good shot block again, and down was Gabriel Frasca there for White, keeping it alive in the corner. Now again it's Zonin leaving for Danford to cut down the wall, but he's stripped to the puck. Black looking for an odd man opportunity there with the feed to the red, but Catton has to glove it back down at his own blue. Lost to Frasca, the Kingston Frontenac's prospect in the Ontario Hockey League. Put it down to the end wall, and Black there with Josh Fluker once more. Got it to neutral, and Ryder Ritchie speeds his way through center. Quickly poke checked as he carried his way in, though. And Berkeley Catton knocks this back down low. Quick feed from the end wall there, out of Tersini's reach. And White can bounce this back out to the red. Team Black, the recollect in their own end. Adam Fortier-Gendron here. Passing that one out to neutral. Number 4 in black is the 14th overall pick in the QMJHL draft to the Moncton Wildcats. Xavier Veilleux once again. Passes to neutral as White on the attack. But a good play by Malcolm Spence to get that one free, and he's got a big odd man opportunity now for Team Black. Spence, though, couldn't get a clean shot away. And it'll be taken back by Kieran Walton for White. That time then McQueen carried in for White, but again turned over down low. And Black can settle things down just over the quarter of the way into our first period. And it's a goal from Carter Lowe on a breakaway. It's our only one so far to give Black the early advantage. Another chance wide open in front as a quick backdoor feed doesn't find its way through. Black looking to pull off some pretty plays there with some of the odd man opportunities they've had down low. But White able to escape by the skin of their teeth as Kieran Walton dumps that one in. There's the long pass again for Spence. Mississauga Senators defenseman in the Greater Toronto Hockey League is, again, delayed whistle here. We'll bring the face-off back out to neutral. For those of you who've been watching since Friday, you'll of course know a lot of these things about these players on both teams, where they played, what pick they were in their various major junior drafts, and should say Peter Labardius did an absolutely magnificent job the first couple of days of this weekend, especially because if you're wondering why the notes about the players are so repetitive today, well, where do you think we do our preparation? We listen to Peter Labardius talk about these players. We write things down as we watch and repeat them on the final day of the weekend. But for those of you tuning in for the first time, we hope you're enjoying yourselves here. It's a great facility here in Calgary for this U17 camp. Both teams had a couple of days of practices, 5 days total of action here with Hockey Canada's staff. As these 5 teams that are here for camp need to be whittled down to 3 for that World U17 Hockey Challenge coming to Langley and Delta. Last time it happened was split between Medicine Hat and Swift Current, as here's Caswell carrying in for Team Black. And it was actually no Canadian medals in that last tournament, so a big chance for a bounce back for the Canadian squads at the upcoming event, coming back after a 3-year hiatus. It's Black trying to double this lead. There's Sam Dickinson down at the point. Drops that one off for Caden Petre. Try to put it back to the point. That deflects back down to Lindstrom. Lindstrom pressured in the corner, though. And Reed Varconi can cut that one off. Plays for the Northern Alberta Extreme in the Canadian Sports School Hockey League. You'll see a lot of the Western prospects at this camp coming from the prep school ranks, which has swelled considerably over the last 5+ years. And again, it's Lindstrom for Black. Trying to pass that one across. There were 3 white sticks in the way of that one, though, but Dickinson's able to take it back to Lindstrom. And now across for Caswell. Pass down low, then came back door, and the feed from Dickinson didn't get through. Another chance, again blocked on a try by Lindstrom. And although White's been under plenty of pressure in this first period. They've done a good job of reducing the number of saves that George has to make. Phillips try there, knocked away by the White goaltender. And finally, it's Liam Greentree who can bounce that down to the end wall. Gabriel Daig there, you see the imposing Team Black goaltender, 6'3", 191 pounds, out of Sorel Tracy, Quebec. As Black on the attack again here. Elio L'Italien pokes that down to the end wall. And then Carson Wetch trying to spin this one free. As again it comes up the far wall and Bill Zonin gets there for White. Fed that one ahead as it ricochets off a skate back into White territory. And again back to neutral it comes as Wetch takes it back for Black. Drops off in turn for Lowe, the goal scorer. Shoots another one, but right into the breadbasket of goaltender Carter George. He holds on for a whistle-stopping play. Carter Lowe, 24 for Black with that shot. There you see Carter George, Thunder Bay, Ontario native, who played for Thunder Bay's GTHL squad, a .920 save percentage in the U17 ranks last year. Third round pick of the Owen Sound Attack in the OHL. George listed at 5'11", 167. Gave up one goal on a great breakaway chance by Lowe, but other than that has been solid, and also his team's been racking up the shot blocks over this last little while. Official shots on goal right now are 4-1 in favor of Team Black. Hustling back here is William McIsaac. Played for St. George's School in the CSSHL as well. But now a turnover allows Roger McQueen to carry another feed in front. One-timed in on Daig, and he makes another spectacular save. And again, it was McQueen setting it up with a beautiful feed to the middle. There, an offside carry-in by Black, and that whistle will stop play. But again, Gabriel Daig denying with authority Team White's perhaps best chance of the game. As they'll set up for a neutral zone draw here. And again, it was McQueen for White. Where's number 14, the Saskatoon native, who set that one up. For lots of talk about number 14 on Team White, the 6'3" forward out of the Saskatoon Blazers. It's Black now with a chance to feed one in front, and that one-timer just misses from Marek Van Acker. He'll recollect down in the corner and take a hard bump from Rogers. Then Harrison Brunicky for White can get it off to the far wall, and White escapes this one by bouncing it out to the center circle. So only 2 shots on goal in this one for White, but they were both grade A scoring chances, denied by marvelous saves from Gabriel Daig, who now stops the puck in behind his own net for Sam Dickinson. And Black again, there's that stretch pass once more, and an opportunity shot, scores! Thomas Desrousseaux that time, settling it down at the red line, speeding his way down the left side, and snapping another one into the back of the Team White cage. And on almost identical goals, Team Black has doubled this lead, and it's 2-0. Thomas Desrousseaux, the 13th overall QMJHL pick of the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. The Lévis, Quebec native. They had 12 goals in 27 games for the Lévis Chevaliers in the Quebec U18 ranks last year. And there, it took another awesome pass. Was free and clear. Not much Carter George can do on that one with a perfectly placed shot to double this Team Black lead. But White trying to respond. They easily could be in a 2-2 tie right now, if not for the fact that Black's goaltender has been absolutely marvelous. An interception here for Zonin, leaving for a one-timer by Wu that is saved and held by Gabriel Daig, just his 3rd stop of this game so far. A shot there again at the imposing Team Black goaltender. Daig played for the Saint-Hyacinthe Gaulois in the Quebec U18 ranks last year. .919 save percentage for him in 24 games played. As the bouncer here is cleared out of Black's territory. Danford now carrying back in for White. But they can't set anything up this time. And again, the long feed to neutral here will allow Black to go on the attack once more. Caswell leaves it in turn for Henry Muse to carry in. He'll turn and shoot. Scores! A high floating wrister from Henry Muse finds its way in. And Team Black off to a sensational start in period one. It's 3-0. Henry Muse from Nepean originally, but played in the GTHL for the Toronto Junior Canadiens last season. They won the GTHL's U16 crown. 7th overall pick of the Ottawa 67s in the OHL. And a well-known name in Nepean. As Black set up back in their own end here. Muse's father, Harry, played for the Nepean Raiders and led the CJHL back in 1985-86 in assists. He had 93 assists in the Junior A ranks back then. So it's carried in here by Carson Wetch for Black. That sharp angle try, gloved and held by George, and we'll get another whistle that stops play. A few players who are a continuation of a hockey lineage that we'll see over the course of this camp, but plenty too that haven't become household names yet. But when you look at the caliber of players who've come through Hockey Canada's program of excellence, this is the first step in that. U17 selection camp, then to the World U17 Challenge. Of course, the Helinka Gretzky Cup for the U18 ranks. We see plenty of players who play in all those events on their way to representing Team Canada at higher levels of international hockey. As Wedge there takes a hard hit from Wu. Still, it's carried in, though, by Black as Lowe will spin with it in the corner. Put it to the point for Fluker. Then across. Another shot and another good block in front. That time it was Jonas Wu. He threw a hit at one end, gets a good shot block at the other. And then Ryder Ritchie drives his way down the wall, dropped it off in the slot. One-timer scores! Elio Letellier. One-timing it home from right between the hash marks as that one was set up on a tee for him to drive it in. And the native of L'Ancienne Lorette, Quebec, makes it a 4-0 Team Black lead. It's Letellier's first goal of this camp. He had 2 assists so far. After a season with Séminaire Saint-François in Quebec, where he had 32 points in 39 games. They're a beautiful blast from just inside the left hash marks, and Team Black with a great first period here. They're up 4-0. We mentioned we know this team can score. They had 5 goals in their opening game against Red. There's a screenshot that is saved by Gabriel Daig, who has not made it easy on Team White as Gavin Garland's shot there doesn't make its way through from the half wall. And Garland then doing battle down in the corner, the Delta Hockey Academy grad from last year, as they won their division of the CSSHL. As then Veilleux with a long wrister there, Xavier Veilleux, and it's gloved and held once again by Daig. So for Team White now 5 shots on goal. None of them have found the back of the net. Is once again the standout. You see him right there in the middle of your screen is the goaltender for Team Black. Gabriel Daig put together some great highlight reel stops in that 5-1 win over Team Red. And here, although his team has had the majority of the puck possession, when they haven't, they've been able to rely on him. Eric Van Acker carrying in there for Black, but stripped of the puck quickly is the team with the 4-0 lead. And here's Gabriel Frasca carrying in for White. Again, trying that pass through the slot, but that time deflects its way down to the corner. And Van Acker there hit hard, trying to keep it alive along the wall. Kept possession, though. And leaves for McIsaac behind his own cage. Out to neutral, and there Danford with the intercepted front of the bench, but he's quickly pressured here by 3 forecheckers. If White can push this the other way, might have something. But a good stick there by Team Black's William McIsaac to prevent that from happening. And now it's going to be Team Black putting pressure on. Malcolm Spence weaves his way down low. Backed up there by Thomas DeRousseau, but he had it poked out of his reach. Porter Martone can put that all the way down ice. And that'll be icing against White. Faceoff coming back into their end. So we get a good look there at Bill Zonin, the Montreal native, played for Northwood School in the U.S. prep school ranks last year. The 6th overall pick of the Rune-Noranda Huskies in the QMJHL draft. He's already got 3 assists in this camp this weekend. Does number 23 in White. Face-off coming to the right of goaltender George as it's won by Black. They'll try to make it 5-0 here. But the feed middle is intercepted by Martone and jammed all the way down ice. Might be enough for icing. Nope. And it'll be taken back by Black with Josh Fluker here. And these long feeds from the D zone working wonders for Black. Their passing has been spectacular here as Caden Petrie leaves it for Fluker to drive down the wall. Now again, Petrie with the shot that goes down to the corner on the ricochet. Caswell swarmed by a couple of White defenders. Is there a hit thrown by Lindstrom, knocking his man down? But Black take it away at the neutral zone once again here. Caden Petrie leaves it for Lindstrom at the wall. He'll cycle it in that corner. The pass back to the point. Ricocheted off a stick. Black with the recollect, though. Caden Lindstrom again. Leaves for Caswell. Nice feed across, but then the return feed. There were plenty of White defenders there to get in the way and jam it back out to the neutral zone where Owen Phillips recollects. Halifax native Phillips, who played in Pittsburgh last year, leaves in turn for Caden Petrie, the Stouffville, Ontario native. He'll drive his way in. Drop that one off for a sharp angle try, and George makes an easy butterfly save there. 1-on-4 here, battling is L'Italien, who had the most recent goal. Couldn't keep possession that time, but a furious effort nonetheless. That clearance bounces back in offside, and they will blow the whistle on that one as that deflected its way back in to Team White's territory. Also an officiating development opportunity here at the U17 selection camp. With plenty of officials getting experience at higher levels of hockey. We've got a penalty coming up on that last play, in fact. This Team White's going to go to the PK for the second time. It's Roger McQueen who heads in. And Team Black will get a 2-minute opportunity to make this one a real commanding lead with time winding down in this first period. So McQueen in the box, and Black setting up on the man advantage. Owen Phillips jams it down low to L'Italien, and then behind the net for Carson Wetch. Put to the circle, and that feed came just out of L'Italien's reach. Nearly perfectly executed there on the quick two-pass play. Another try for Black here from behind the net this time. And that one-timer whistles wide from Wetch. Deflects out to Phillips at the red. Owen Phillips, 7th overall QMJHL pick to Halifax. Drives his way down and rims it along the dasher to Adam Fortier-Gendron, but it just bounced out of his reach. He'll have to recollect in the neutral zone here. Not too much trouble for White so far, and a good intercept there. Xavier Veilleux with a shorthanded opportunity, but the pass through the slot was out of the way of his two trailing teammates. Now White's going to take it away shorthanded down low. I was about to say they've got to hustle back, but they don't, because they're keeping that puck down in Black territory as we approach the halfway mark of their second power play of the game. And Berkeley Catton to lead this rush, but he's going 1-on-3 there. And again, Team White disrupting quickly, clearing that all the way down, and they get themselves a changeup of the penalty kill personnel. Team Black once again here. Catton gets a return pass from Ritchie. The between-the-legs shot that time is a point-blank save for Carter George. Would have been a highlight reel marker if it had gone in. But that time, George racking up some big saves late in what's been a tough first period. Not in terms of his performance, but in terms of the pressure that's been put on him with some of these Team Black opportunities. DeRousseau in the corner. Put it to the point. Good one-time pass by Catton. Getting it to Muse. And then his return feed just was out of his reach. And again, White with a quick clear there. His time dwindles in this Team Black power play. William McIsaac, the Vancouverite, holding on behind his net. Passes this one ahead. And Berkeley Catton left that one for Tersini, and then the dump-in try goes off of a Team White body as they are back to full strength. Tersini once again speeds his way ahead with Ryder Ritchie going to the front of the net. Ritchie looking for the tip there, but it was out of his reach, and George made the stop with his pad. Ritchie evades two defenders, though, to cut behind the net, but White getting in the way of that one. Another turnover, though, forced here. Ritchie feeds to Muse. Back to the middle it comes, and it was just caught in the skates of Thomas DeRousseau. Seen that a few times from Team Black, trying for maybe one pass too many, but they are the team with the commanding lead. 4-0 for Black, and they're leading in shots 11-5. Henry Muse. Now retreating again, Josh Fluker in his own end. Evades the forecheck, though, and puts a nice pass ahead for DeRousseau. Then put further down low, and Van Acker had it just bounce out of his reach. Another try from the circle. Scores! Malcolm Spence that time. Snapping a wrister from the bottom of the left circle. It was Van Acker who got the puck to him. And number 3, Black, with a great goal for his first of the weekend to make it 5-zip. Spence, the second overall pick of the OHL draft to the Erie Otters. 56 points in 28 games last year for the Mississauga Senators of the GTHL, where he was the player of the year. Showing off wide there with a heck of an offensive stride to give Team Black its most commanding lead of the morning. Now for Black again, this is only their third game of the weekend. They will play the 7 o'clock game, 7 o'clock Mountain, 9 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 for those of you in Newfoundland and Labrador, as Veilleux carries his way in. Centering feed, and that one just barely fanned on by Gabriel Frasca, who was well set up to get White on the board. But when it rains, it pours for Team White. Definitely been much, much better than this scoreline would indicate. And there another stretch pass try for Van Acker, out of his reach, but icing waved off. And Van Acker trying to take that away on the forecheck, nearly did so. But again, Jonas Wu with a good, responsible play down low. He's double-teamed here, needs a bit of support. We'll get it in the form of Cole Baudouin. And that'll deflect free. Varconi just has to sweep this out to the neutral zone. And Black can go back and get it here and keep that pressure on. They want 6. Caswell cutting back to the red that time. And leaves for Fortier Gendron. His pass ahead, though, picked off. And can White get something going here? As Walton, nice pass across. Caught in skates, though, and another return pass in front from Baudouin. Doesn't find the target. And Black will try to get something off the rush once again. Pitre carries in. Trying to center it, went off the side of the net. And a good cutoff by Harrison Brunicky to spin away from pressure down at the end wall. Into the dying minute and a bit of this opening period. And it's all Team Black. In their second last game of this weekend series. For Team White, this is their final. It's carried in barely onside by Black. Lindstrom driving his way down low. Gets a return pass in the corner. Trying to center off a stick and still deflected free to a teammate in Pitre, whose shot ends up trickling in on goaltender George, and he's able to get on top of that one. Kind of a tale of puck luck going two different ways. When Team Black's got pressure in that Team White zone, it seems like everything's deflecting right to the tape of a teammate. Whereas for Team White, even when they're set up perfectly, just barely misfiring or having a puck get caught in skates or not able to get everything on some of these shots. Apart from those first 2 that they had, that easily could have been goals. Instead, we get another O-zone draw here for Team Black. That's Clark Caswell taking the draw for Black, number 12. 6th overall pick of the Brandon Wheat Kings in the WHL draft. Remember, the Western Canadian prospects in this one were drafted in the major junior ranks 2 years ago. As there's a sharp angle try, doesn't get through. Another try from Veilleux, and that one stopped as well by Gabriel Daig, who's no worse for wear, having not seen too many shots since the 5th one. White racks up a couple there, and they've now got 7 total in the game. McQueen now putting it back into his own end. And uncharacteristic here for Team White, who had 12 goals in their opener. That one another good blocker save from Daig. And Lindstrom can zigzag out to the red with it. Try to dance his way into the O zone. Couldn't do it. Put a teammate offside there, so they'll recollect at neutral. And again, some real good passing on display by Black here. There again, nearly turned over just as I was saying that, but not in fact turned over. And time will run out in this first period. Team Black with plenty to be happy about as they head into the dressing room. 5-0 lead, 5 different goal scorers. As Team White has a lot to work on for these upcoming 40 minutes, as they'll want to cap off their weekend on a high note, but plenty of hockey left to play. 5-0 for Team Black over Team White after 20 minutes. You are watching Hockey Canada's Under-17 National Team Development Camp on hockeycanada.ca. It was an offensive explosion for Team Black in the first period of this first game of the last day of Hockey Canada U17 National Team Development Camp. 5 goals from 5 different goal scorers, giving Black a 5-0 lead over Team White despite just a 12-8 shot advantage. It started with Carter Lowe on a breakaway 3-12, and then Thomas Desrousseaux at the 9-19 mark on an almost identical goal. Henry Muse scored at the 10-10 mark less than a minute later. Just over a minute after that, 61 seconds later, Elio L'Italien blasted one home from the slot, and then it was Malcolm Spence capping off the scoring with just under 3 minutes left in the first period to make it a 5-0 game on a really well-placed wrist shot from the bottom of the left circle. Teams have switched sides. Carter George to our left, Gabriel Daig to our right. Goaltender for Black has been real good, stopping all 8 shots that were sent his way. But see if Team White, which has scored 19 goals in their opening 3 games of this weekend, can start to push things back the other way. Again, we get some jostling off the start as Porter Martone getting into it with Antonio Tersini. They were, in fact, teammates with the Toronto Junior Canadiens in the GTHL. And yet no love lost here when you're playing for a spot on a Hockey Canada national team, as Jonas Wu there had a shot deflect over the end glass and out of play. We'll have games at 3:30 and 7 o'clock Mountain Time to cap off our weekend of broadcasts. Again, I'm Tyler King with the crew of HN Live. Here giving you all the action on hockeycanada.ca. It's Roger McQueen out to center this one. He was listed originally as being on a line with Luca Testa, who led his league in scoring last year. Was the 15th overall pick of the London Knights. We haven't seen Testa, number 10 White, on the ice, at least in that first period. So it looks like White, which was already 3 players short going into this one, is a little bit shorter now and has had to change up the lines a little bit. But nonetheless, have put together some real good opportunities. Just been on the bad side of Black capitalizing on pretty much every grade A chance that they've had. Danford there, his shot deflects off of a forechecker, but back to Wu in his own zone. Harangued by his numerical counterpart, Ryder Ritchie there, but still gets it out to his own blue. And then Frasca's feet ahead is for Martone to carry in, put it across for Danford, shot right on, and the rebound just deflects wide left of the net. Another awesome chance off the rush for Team White, but they can't even buy a goal right now. They didn't have bad luck, they have no luck at all right now, as it's deflected back out to neutral, and this could be a 3-on-1, at least a 2-on-1. Kieran Walton on the carry in here, passes across, and it's just out of Zonen's reach. Recollected by White here, and the sharp angle try from Walton at least gets through, but Daig is there to make the save. So Black a little bit of a tough start to the second period in terms of chances allowed, but again bailed out by their goaltender and bailed out by just small misplays by White on some of these chances off the rush. Desrousseaux here, who has a goal, almost got another with that turnaround wrister that barely missed on the near side. Zonen again. This one now chipped out to neutral. Zonen giving chase there, able to poke it ahead, and then carries in himself. Bill Zonen down the wall with it. Turns and tries to center, but Desrousseaux gets in the way. And now a chance on the rush for Black. Carrying ahead. Desrousseaux way offside there as he had to make 2 or 3 extra moves, and Marek Van Acker was over the blue line a bit too early. We see Spence head back to the bench there for Black. Member number 3 of Black had 56 points in 28 games at the AAA level last year as the Greater Toronto Hockey League Player of the Year. 3rd in the GTHL in both point scoring and goal scoring. It's spun down low again here for Black to keep the pressure on. Clark Caswell swept up to the point now for Forte Gendron. That one whistled wide. Another chance from the half wall, doesn't get through from Owen Phillips. And White can get this to neutral, but again, Forte Gendron back to get it at the red. Sweeps it round back of the net. George there to play it here. Again, the forecheck of Black doing a good job to disrupt. That was Pitre in there again. Back to neutral it comes. Bounced in over the head of George. Giving chase that time was Brunicky. Couldn't get it out though. Pitre keeps it in. Put it down low with the feet in front for Lindstrom. One-timer. George made a good save. The rebound is lying there at the near post, but thankfully bailed out by a teammate there to get that out of harm's way. Lindstrom now for Black. Zigzags and shoots, and that's another good save from George. Rebound with the sharp angle try for Petrie, doesn't get through. So again, Caden Lindstrom, 6'5", number 22 on Team Black, the Chetwynd native. He played for Delta last year at the U17 level, had 60 points in 31 games. Again, getting another good chance there for Team Black. Not one of their 5 goal scorers so far in this one. But might not be long before that changes with the way he's been playing. Again, William McIsaac here for Team Black. Put it off to the far side, and now that one to neutral for L'Italien, looking for his second goal. Poke checked free, and he was tangled up a bit by a defender. Nothing comes of that, though, as Lowe spins it back to the white end. Benjamin Danford there to settle it down. Rogers returns to Danford, and now to McQueen at neutral. Speeds his way in and leaves for Martone. He'll use a defenseman as a screen, but the shot ricocheted off the skate of McIsaac and didn't find its way through. William McIsaac back to get this one again. Played 5 games for the Spokane Chiefs in the WHL last year. 28th overall pick in the WHL Bantam draft as it comes back to Rogers in his own end for White. Here again is Braden Rogers, second round pick of the Owen Sound Attack in the OHL. Scramble in front of the benches here. White had to be careful. Both their penalties in the first period, I didn't notice right away because it wasn't a signal right in front of the penalty box. Both their penalties were for too many men on the ice in that first period. So that's what drew both of the Team Black power plays. So though we saw Roger McQueen go in the box for both of them, they weren't him committing the penalty. Just you've got to send a player who was on the ice. And in that case, he drew the short straw both times. Now Daig just going to settle things down at the side of his own net and get his team a whistle that stops play. His Team White will get an offensive zone opportunity here. Trailing in shots 14-8 after the first period. They've got 1 shot in this second frame as Thomas DeRousseau out to take the draw for Team White. Wins that back to Brunicky here. That shot goes off of a stick back to Walton now along the wall. That centering feed ricocheted off the skate of Fluker and wide. Again, it's bounced out to neutral, and Team Black with some speed to create a potential 3-on-2. But Tersini got a bit crisscrossed with his teammate there, which was Catton. White, though, couldn't clear this one out, and Black can keep the pressure on. Here's Ryder Ritchie. Nice sharp angle try, but it went off the right arm of goaltender George. Not out of play, though, as it'll stay in at the far wall. Team White with the bank pass there. It is chased down by Walton. He couldn't get a shot through, though, from the sharp angle. And Black now again. Tersini left it for Catton. He was stripped of it, but backed up in turn by Sam Dickinson. He'll speed his way in. Leave it for Ritchie. Got some space in the slot to shoot, and George made a good save. The rebound ricocheting around the blue paint again, but no secondary opportunity that time for Black. They got to recollect at the neutral zone. But Dickinson was pressured there. It's taken away, and the wrister by Baudouin just misses the target again. Jonas Wu now keeping pressure on for White. Cut to the side of the cage, but was double-teamed there. And now Team Black again with Spence, who scored the most recent goal. Weaving his way in, evades a couple defenders, and then knifes it back down low. Back up top it comes for Phillips. He banks it around to Spence on the back door there off that play off the end wall. Couldn't get a shot through, though, and got tangled up with an opponent in Wu and caught him a bit awkwardly with the butt end of his stick, and Wu is off to the bench a little bit gingerly there. As we mentioned, Team White missing now 4 players from their lineup at the start of camp. So plenty of extra playing time for these guys to show off their talents, including Bill Zonin there, who shoots one from the circle that is saved and held by goaltender Daig. Zonin, as we mentioned, 6th overall pick of Rune Naranda in the QMJHL draft. As there's, at the front of your screen, Harrison Brunicky, the Calgary Royals defenseman. Played for 2 junior teams this past year, did Brunicky. His Royals season was great with 17 points in 29 games. Played 1 game for the Brooks Bandits in the Alberta Junior Hockey League and 2 games for the Kamloops Blazers in the WHL. Bank to the center circle here, and the settle down here by Black. It's Caden Petrie in his own end. Giving off to Owen Phillips. Pressured as White managing to force the O-zone turnover, and the sharp angle shot there from Greentree didn't find its way through. Another chance now for McQueen down low. Leaves it. Greentree centering feed, and the one-timer scores! Porter Martone hammering it home from the high slot, and Team White is finally on the board to make it a 5-1 game. That'll be his 4th goal of the weekend to tie him for the lead, with his teammate Luca Testa, who has 4 goals in this one as well. But Martone's also got 2 assists, so he's been all over the place. For a guy who in the Ontario ranks at 104 points in 53 games en route to a GTHL championship, showing there while he was the 5th overall pick of the Sarnia Sting of the OHL. Great shot from Martone. Team White's on the board, but they got a long ways to go here. That one bounced in on Day, who's been perfect outside of that one opportunity. They've now narrowed the shot deficit, have Team White, to just 2 shots. They're trailing in that category 15-13. That low wrister deflects wide. Another good chance for Carter Lowe, who had the first goal of this one. It feels like forever ago with the scoring cavalcade we've had in this morning affair. Again, White recorralling in their own end. Benjamin Danford there. Over a point a game as a defenseman for Quinte in the Ontario ranks last year. 14th overall pick of Oshawa as that deflects out into the black bench. Another shot there of Benjamin Danford, 6 feet 176. Out of, as we said, Madoc, Ontario, just north of Belleville. Got a couple players on Team White from the Quinte Red Devils. If you've never been to the Quinte region of Ontario before, I tell you, some of the best wineries you're ever going to see, particularly in Prince Edward County. And no one's paid us to say that. It's just a simple fact about a great part of this country. The puck's played in front of the Team Black bench here, and recorralling it for White is Jonas Wu. No worse for wear after taking a bit of an awkward collision on his last shift. Good to see him back out as he's been doing yeoman's work for Team White. Rogers shoots that one in deep for White, trying to keep the pressure on as they've frankly been the better team in this second period. Team Black seeming to have let up a little bit after that 5-goal outburst. As you saw calling for a penalty there was Ritchie as he carried in, but nothing coming of that. Still Black able to keep the pressure on here with Berkeley Catton pinned at the end wall. That will draw a penalty though, and then Wu will get attacked a bit there by Baudouin, and tempers start to boil here down at the end wall of Team White's zone. Maybe evening this one up as a result of the retaliation. Saw 2 indications by the referee. We've got an interference and a roughing penalty. So again, the game managed a bit there to ensure that nobody gets away with retaliation, but it looks like it might be a double minor to one of them. The penalty is still going up on the board. So both players will go to the box, but Team Black, I should say. No, they're putting both penalties up on the board. There we go. Just had to wait an extra second. So we're going to play 4-on-4 here for 2 minutes. I could have just counted the number of players who are coming onto the ice. That would have been an easier way than staring at the scoreboard. Hey, we're all learning. It's July. Here's Zonin back in his own end here. So plenty of open ice here at Winsport in this second period, approaching the halfway mark of our game. Team White's Danford drives his way in behind, tried to wrap that one around, but there were 2 Black defenders there to take it away from him. And Fluker now starts up ice. Drops it off. Nifty little zigzag from Berkeley Catton to now carry his way in and shoot, and George another good save there. Didn't have to move much, well positioned to stop that try from 15 of Black. Now Ritchie keeping the play alive, sweeping it down to Josh Fluker down in the corner. He'll drive his way in behind the net there. Gets hooked a little bit in the hands, but nothing coming of that. Liam Greentree, the recollect for White. Passes ahead for Brunicky. 6'1", 165-pound D-man out of Calgary. As now Ritchie speeds in for Black. Spins his way away from the defensive Brunicky there, but there's 2 White defenders here now. Neither of them could keep possession though, and Black will put some pressure on again with Ritchie. Long shift for him, but gets a good shot away from the high slot. Again though, Carter George, who's been real solid in this second period, making a good butterfly save and holding on for a whistle. There, a look at that Team Black group. If you actually see both the benches, you'll see one of them is more populated, let's say, than the other. Team White has been the victim of some banged up players, unfortunately. They went into this one with 3 players already out of the lineup. Tija Ginla, Michael Hage, and Gabriel Guibault were all out before this game started. We thought we would see Luca Testa, but he has not played in this one. He led the weekend in goal scoring to this point with 4 goals and 1 assist so far in this one. Here's Martone back in his own end. He's got that one Team White goal. Cuts through the center circle and gives to Roger McQueen. Nice shot, he scores! What a rocket! A little bit off balance was Roger McQueen, but he still manages to snipe that one home for his 5th goal of this weekend. And Team White has narrowed the deficit to just 3. McQueen was a guy that Peter Labardia said a lot of great things about these last 2 days, and rightfully so. In the Saskatchewan AAA ranks, he was the Rookie of the Year with 61 points in 41 games. Also got into 12 games with Brandon in the WHL. And another familial connection to the junior hockey ranks as well. His father, Scott McQueen, played plenty in the WHL, but also played his final year of junior hockey in Fort McMurray, where he won a national championship, the then RBC Cup, in the 99-2000 campaign. As again, this one's covered up by George for a whistle that stopped play. Always fun to see the hockey lineages on many of the 5 teams we've got competing in this U17 development camp. So the face-off again, an O-zone one for Team Black. Of course, that RBC Cup that McQueen's father won back in 2000. Now the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons, which will be played in Portage La Prairie, Manitoba this year. One of many national events that have come back into the ranks. We mentioned this U17 coming up in November will be the first one since the 2019 event in Medicine Hat and Swift Current. There's another shot off the rush, scores! Xavier Veilleux went from end to end, snipes a wrister home, and don't go anywhere. This one just got a lot more interesting. Team White only trails by 2. Xavier Veilleux, the 16th overall pick of Chicoutimi in the QMJHL draft. He had 32 points in 39 games last year for Séminaire Saint-François in the Quebec AAA ranks. It looks like we'll have a timeout here. And why not? Because the momentum has swung significantly in this game. After a 5-goal outburst by Team Black, we were saying to ourselves, what's up with Team White, a team that put up 12 goals in their opening game of this one against Team Gold? And Team Gold are not the also-rans of this camp or anything. Team Gold beat Team Black earlier on in the weekend. So they're no slouch at all. But the offense just wasn't clicking for White, primarily because of Gabriel Daig making 2 amazing saves for his first 2 stops in that first period. But here they've allowed a few quick ones, and now all of a sudden, Team White wanting to end their weekend on a high note. Sense some opportunity here, and you love to see it. Especially when you're evaluating players, as that is the main purpose, obviously, of a development camp. Evaluate and consider who's going to come back and put on the maple leaf for the Under-17 Hockey Challenge in November. You want players playing in close, tight, high-pressure games because that's what they're going to play in if they go to Langley and Delta to play in this tournament. Another quick shot off the rush from White and saved and held by Daig. You can tell the strategy's shifted a little bit here for White. Their goals coming off the rush in this second period, and you can also tell anytime they get some space in the middle of the ice, they're letting that vulcanized rubber fly, and they've found pay dirt as a result. Just a 2-goal deficit now after we thought this one might be a bit of a blowout. Now Black trying to get back to their high-level play that gave them so much success in the first period, but they couldn't do it that time. Remember, they've got a full roster here. White is short-staffed, but Kieran Walton here getting to it along the wall. Baudouin giving chase there for White as well. But Black can disrupt this one, trying to get it out of their end. They've spent more time in there in this first half of the second period than I feel like they spent in the entirety of the first period. Spent more time in the first half of the second period, I should say, in their own end than they did in the entirety of the first. As here is White again. Danford recollecting in their own zone. Now to Wilk, who'll carry through center, had it poke check free. And Lindstrom can lead a 3-on-2 rush here for Black. Tried the shot himself, though, and it went right into the first man back, Bernicke, on a good shot block there to disrupt what could have been a grade A chance for Black to go back up by 3. And now Fluker the carry-in. Puts it down to the end boards. Carter George is there. Black on the forecheck there. Players tangle. Nothing comes of that. Oh, no. Yes, it does. It was the other referee, though, calling the penalty for a hook. And a major opportunity now coming up for Team Black as just the board battle ensues, and the puck gets, or the stick of Jonas Wu gets caught up in the Team Black puck carrier, sends him to the box, and now Team Black gets their 3rd power play of this one. And an opportunity to stop this Team White momentum in its tracks. Elio L'Italien to take the draw. As Black get possession off that draw. It's Fluker at the point. Sweeps it over to L'Italien. Back down low again. Return pass to L'Italien. Good pressure there from Zonin, but the keep in from Fluker here. Shooting one and a high blocker save by George that time. He has really turned it on in this second period, not letting anything easy through, and also cutting down on second chance opportunities for this high-flying Team Black squad. Dickinson gets some space in his own zone here. 4th overall pick in the Niagara Ice Dogs in the OHL draft. Barrels his way in. Had a poke check free by Danford, though. And it's cleared all the way down once again. Real good PK work here by White with just under half of the penalty to Jonas Wu having expired. And Dickinson offside on the carry-in, and that'll mean a neutral zone draw upcoming here. It's Team Black a little discombobulated. So we see a look at Ryder Ritchie there, number 7 on Team Black. From Calgary, but played for Rink Hockey Academy Kelowna in the CSSHL last season. 31 points in 23 games. Of course, his father was Byron Ritchie, who played 324 games in the National Hockey League, including finishing his pro career right here in Calgary. And Byron now, in fact, coaching that Rink Kelowna team. As Ritchie, the aforementioned number 7 in black, had it poke check free, and it ricochets all the way back into Team Black's zone. Ryder Ritchie also with 2 goals so far in this weekend set of games. It's now Berkeley Catton leading this rush. Ritchie's there in front of the net, but couldn't get to it in time as White again using the boards to rim that all the way back into Team Black's territory. Last chance here for Team Black's power play unit, but they can't get past the red line that time. Marconi, the carry back in, shoots in a good butterfly save from Daig, bouncing onto his pad though, and he gets on top of it for an important whistle there. Good tenacity from Team White, taking advantage of a miscue by Black at the neutral zone. They get a shorthanded chance away, so not only do they kill off the last few seconds of that penalty to Wu, who now can rejoin his teammates, but they get an offensive zone draw to try to get right back to business here. Plenty of time left in this game. And what was once a 5-goal deficit for Team White on the verge of becoming a nail-biter here. Cole Baudouin out to take the draw. Played for the Nepean Raiders in the Ottawa area last year. 77 points in 32 games for him, where he was the Hockey Eastern Ontario Player of the Year and its top rookie and the league champion. And he led the league in assists. And probably a few other things we didn't have space to write down in terms of the accomplishments the number 6 on Team White had. As you see him there at the far circle, with the puck right now is Veilleux, who has one of the 2 Team White goals. Leaves for the aforementioned Baudouin. Then for Veilleux, who had it poke check free by Frasca. Gotten up that wall where Trey Wilk couldn't quite get it out. So White can keep the pressure on here. Love to see this from them. As Walton getting to it behind the cage, spinning with possession here, put it up top, and a good stick it looked like from Henry Muse, just barely got it free. Scooped up again by DeRousseau. Banked off the glass to the red line. And there Gavin Garland pushed off the puck, but it's taken again by Team White's Wilk, trying to center that one. Bill Zonin got to it, to Brunicky at the point, and back to Zonin. Across that one comes for Danford to spin it down the dasher. Garland's there in the corner. Let it go in behind the net for Wilk, and then Zonin's in to poke it free again. Out to Brunicky at the point. Shots blocked. Trying to recollect at the red line here. Team White's now offside. So Black with an opportunity. DeRousseau carrying in. He's got a goal, looking for another, but he's tied up nicely by Benjamin Danford, who was on the back check there. Both of them go tumbling into the corner boards, and Black can keep the pressure on here, but that sharp angle shot didn't get through. Tersigni had some good position there inside the faceoff dot, but nothing doing that time. Shots on goal, by the way, have narrowed to just a 19-18 advantage for Team Black. So a real good statement by Team White in this second period to make it close again. Petrie intercepts. This could be a 2-on-1 here for Black. Feed across, though, is just out of the reach of Clark Caswell. And this time it's Team Black's turn to have those just miss the target as a slapper from Fluker is saved and held by goaltender Carter George. Boy, is it ever similar to what we saw from Team White back in the first period. See Fluker there, who got that shot away, played for the Southwest Cougars in Manitoba last year. 20 points in 38 games in the AAA ranks, but then 5 assists in 10 games with the Swift Current Broncos of the WHL. He's on the second All-Star team in Manitoba's U18 AAA ranks. 7th overall pick of Swift Current a couple of years ago. Now Jonas Wu speeding in here for White. Feeds it in front, and it's tipped on goal. Daig made a good save, but as Martone got that chance away looking for his second of the game, he was hooked on the way, and it's going to mean Team White gets a power play to try to make it a 1-goal game. Again, a great job by Porter Martone to get to the front of the net there. Nearly deflected at home did the Peterborough, Ontario native who won the GTHL with the Toronto Junior Canadiens last season. 4 goals for him, nearly his 5th, as Martone will come out to take the draw on the power play here. And it's the aforementioned Josh Fluker who heads to the box. Team White gets its 2nd power play of this game. Here's McQueen. Dishes it middle for Danford. Then over to the far side. That slapper from Varconi just barely missed. It was a bullet on that half slapper that time. Again, banked to Danford at the blue. He shoots through a screen. Good save, Daig. It's lying on his left pad, and McQueen couldn't get a shot away. He was in too tight of confinement there, and now Danford can recollect at the point. For McQueen, shooting in a good shot block that time, but it was caught in the skates of Wetch, who made the good block there. Then the clearance attempt. Good job, Danford, to keep it in. Pushes it across, and that feed deflects off a defender's stick. To neutral, this one goes again, and Wetch trying to dig it free, doing some real good work on this penalty kill unit. Wetch carrying in, and his shot deflects over the end glass, and we will get a whistle that stops play. Good penalty kill shift, though, for Wetch, number 14 in black. Played for the Burnaby Winter Club last year and played 1 game for the Calgary Hitmen in the WHL. 47 points in 31 games in the Canadian Sports School Hockey League for Carson Wetch as they won the U18 division of the CSSHL. Just under halfway through this power play for White, and they've got to take a draw in their own zone. Looking to make it a 1-goal game. Veilleux behind his own net. Starts with a pass up to Jonas Wu. Nifty little drop there for the carry ahead by Walton. He'll drive his way in behind. And Wu doing a good job to keep possession there. We've seen him be nicely evasive quite a bit over the course of this game. Walton now pressured hard by Carter Lowe. Got it back to the point there, and Veilleux tried to drive down the wall. Walton helped it back to the end wall. It's there, Baudouin spins with it. But from behind the cage, Black can poke it free. Not out, though. Could keep in Veilleux that time. Gets a return feed and shoots it just wide of the net. Nicely steered to the wall by Black, but not out. Dying seconds of this power play for White. And an alert play by Antonio Tersini to shoot that one all the way down ice. Freshly out of the box is Fluker. He's heading to the bench, though. Allows White to carry in, and Wu gets knocked hard after trying to deflect that one in from the front of the net. It's a hard hit by Sam Dickinson, sending him a little awkwardly into the end wall, but he braced himself nicely as that puck pops out of play. And Wu entirely okay as he skates back toward the Team White bench. Boy, what a highlight reel play that would have been had he been able to deflect that puck into the net while taking that high hit. And it's going to be a penalty, it looks like, going to Dickinson on that play. Didn't catch the signal, but it does mean another big opportunity here for Team White to make it a 1-goal game as we head into the dressing room. This their 3rd power play of the game, so both teams have had the same amount now. Shot from the circle, right on the rebound. How did that not go in? Greentree had it rolling in front of his stick there at an open right side of the net, but couldn't manage to tap it home as White nearly converted on the power play seconds in. Now Martone the carry in. No matter the result of this power play, White's got to be awfully happy as they head into the second intermission here, with this game very much within striking distance after a real rough first period for them. That shot from Catton's wide. Black putting some shorthanded pressure on. Another opportunity here for Green Tree to lead the rush on the power play. Gets around the defense of Fortier-Gendron, and Poole cues it up to the point for Roger McQueen. Nice move down the wall, takes the shot, and a good save again by Daig. Feed up the middle by Black, sometimes dangerous. This time it's going to lead to a breakaway. It's Ritchie in all alone, and the puck rolled off his stick, but he'll recollect and shoot it, and he just missed on the short side. Ritchie was as free and clear as you'll ever see a player on the penalty kill. Took his time, but the puck just didn't want to cooperate with him that time. And he couldn't get a shot away for what could have been a real dagger goal for Team Black on the man disadvantage. Now McQueen again. Final seconds of the period, fed it across. One-timer denied by Porter Martone getting the shot away. It was Daig with another sensational stop as we hit the buzzer to end the second period of play. Players getting tangled up in front of the benches. Consternation all over the place as Team White has put together an incredible comeback second period to make this one real interesting as we head into the final 20. When we come back, Team White will still be down, but by only 2 goals, and they'll have 36 seconds of power play remaining. You're watching Hockey Canada's National Under-17 Development Camp live on hockeycanada.ca. As the sweet, soothing sounds of AC/DC welcome our participating teams back to the ice here in Calgary, we get set for period number 3 in what went from a potential blowout to a big barn burner between Team Black and Team White here at Hockey Canada's U17 National Team Development Camp. Hi again, everybody. My name's Tyler King with the crew from hnlive.ca, and coming to you live on hockeycanada.ca is you may have been excused if you thought this one was over after 20 minutes, with Team Black going up 5-0 by virtue of 5 different goal scorers finding pay dirt, but it was all Team White in that middle frame. They now lead this game in shots 23-20. They're going to start it on a power play as well. They got a goal from Porter Martone 7 minutes in, then 2 goals in the span of 29 seconds from Roger McQueen and Xavier Veilleux to make it a 5-3 game. McQueen's been in on all of the goals that Team White has scored. You see him on the near side of your screen there, setting up on the left wing for this opening faceoff. McQueen scored that middle goal for Team White and had assists on the first and third goals, as the 6'3" forward out of Saskatoon has been a major offensive catalyst in what could be a huge comeback for Team White. But they got 20 minutes to try to complete it here. As we mentioned, they start with a man advantage for a few seconds here. And with the fresh ice, see what they can do with it. As it's the aforementioned Roger McQueen driving his way around back of the cage where he's double teamed. Eventually stripped of it by William McIsaac, but he's pinned here. And 4 power play men come in to take that one back for White. As they try to dish it middle, though, it's jammed to neutral. Could be an odd man here as it's flipped down ice by Tersini. Goaltender George fanned on the pass there, but Black couldn't make him pay for it. They'll get a battle back down here in White territory, and that'll do it for their power play. And they'll have to keep pressing even strength here to try to make this a 1-goal game. Quick blind centering pass steered away by DeRousseau for Black, and out to the neutral zone it comes. With a carry in by Ryder Ritchie. He shoots, he scores! Big statement goal by Team Black in the opening couple minutes of this third period. Ryder Ritchie letting one fly from the slot off the carry and gets his 3rd goal of this camp and reclaims a 3-goal lead for Team Black. Ryder Ritchie, as we mentioned, played for Rink Hockey Academy Kelowna this past season. 31 points in 23 games. And here's showing off a great offensive talent to give Black their 6th goal, and it's their 6th goal scorer of this game too. Bill Zonin got that one free for White, out to Cole Beaudoin at the red line. He's tangled up with Catton and falls. Still the puck goes to the end wall of the Black zone, and they'll recollect and get it to Ritchie, the most recent goal scorer, leaving for Catton to carry his way in. Catton surveying, gives it to a fresh off the bench Fluker, who'll cut down to the corner. He leaves in turn for Ritchie. Swung over to the corner now. And that pass to the point misses Catton, who will have to get back to it in his own end. Good start here for Black in this third period. Kind of felt like the ice is tilted towards our broadcast right over the entirety of this game. Literally all of our goals have been scored over here on this side of the ice. As it's fed in front and tipped from point-blank range by Spence, but couldn't get that one through. Nearly became the first 2-goal scorer of this game for Black, as he had one back in that first period. And Josh Fluker can collect behind his own end, or behind his own net. And out to neutral, this one comes now. Lindstrom to Petrie at his own blue. Dished ahead and Fluker, one touched ahead. Caswell to carry in, or rather that was Dickinson driving his way to the side of the net. But stripped of it down low. Now it's Caswell in there. And to the corner it comes for Petrie again. Then Muse with that long wrister and a good save through a screen by Carter George. Flung back to the end wall again for Clark Caswell. And in this corner now, Harrison Brunicky had it poked free. A teammate came in with a bit of a bump on before checking Lindstrom, but nothing came of that. And Team White can vacate their end. But good pressure here as it's taken right back by Lindstrom. Trying to dish that one middle. Goes off a stick, and another keep in here. That wrister from McIsaac didn't get through. White's had a lot of shot blocks in this one. Now a desperation clear will be icing against Team White, and sort of seeing the game play out the way the first period did, with Team Black spending the vast majority of time in the offensive zone. Again, they will play again tonight. We'll see players like those two there, Elio L'Italien and Adam Fortier-Gendron. L'Italien in to take the draw. He had one of the 5 goals in the first period. His first of the weekend. Now Carter Lowe, who opened the scoring, gets it to neutral for Carson Wetch. He's pushed hard into the penalty box glass. And White can recollect in their own end. Here's Jonas Wu. Played 15 games in the WHL for the Winnipeg Ice this past season. 18th overall pick by them a couple of years ago. Now Greentree trying to put that one middle off a stick, and Wu will manage to carry in, but just fanned on the shot. He was harangued just enough by Adam Fortier-Gendron and couldn't get a clean shot away. Now Black again. Lowe bounces it down to Team White's end, and Benjamin Danford there to get it again. Bounce to the center circle, and Wetch does a good job to settle it down. Carson Wetch carrying in, but turned it over. And White trying to counterattack as Black was completing a line change. Shot in deep, and it's White's turn to go for a change, but the dump in rode the dasher pretty quickly, allowing Black to get a quick carry in here, but couldn't get any pressure through, and Xavier Veilleux can put it off to the far side. Now back across it comes for the carry in by Kieran Walton. Drop this one back. Baudouin fed it across, and the shot's a sprawling save from Daig. Another great opportunity off the rush for White, and they can't get it through that time, as it was Baudouin now trying to jam at it at the far side. Can't get that through either. And Fluker will just send it to the near wall and out to the neutral zone. Back in first period form again is number 31 in Black. Goaltender who was key in their 5-1 win over Team Red to open this weekend. With goaltenders playing full games in this one, not splitting them. This will likely be his final action, and we'll likely see Chase Woodsky, the Saskatoon Contacts goaltender, in their final game tonight at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Xavier Veilleux shooting that one in. Muse and McIsaac there collided with each other, but Muse kept possession, then turns it over, and Zonin can keep some pressure on for White. Losing it though to DeRousseau, who shot it off a body to the red line. And it's jammed right back in by White. And then some jostling in front of the benches as someone took exception to Jonas Wu. He's been getting under the skin of a few Team Black players over the course of this one. Perhaps intentionally so. As now Black recollecting in their own end. Wilk now for Team White, carrying his way in. Trey Wilk put it across off a stick there, and the chase down here for Phillips. Couldn't get to it for Black, but backed up by a teammate in Van Acker, or rather Muse, who will zigzag out to the red line with it. Taking back McQueen there as Black is offside, so we'll get a whistle that stops play. So the faceoff will come just outside of Team White's end as the shot count still favors White, 25-21, but they're trailing this one 6-3. So on your near side there, you see 24 in White, Liam Greentree, the 34th overall pick in the OHL of the Windsor Spitfires. Played for the Markham Majors in the GTHL last year, where he had over a point a game, 25 points in 22 games. And after that offside whistle, we had a quick snapper from the wall there. Not sure if the linesman's protestations just weren't audible enough, but it'll draw some verbal conflagrations, but not much more beyond that. The faceoff will come all the way back to Team White's end. Or in fact, center ice. Danford. Nice move around Ritchie to then put it back deep of Black territory. Fortier-Gendron there first for Black, but the clearance won't come out of the zone. Long wrister there is wide from Brunicky, and the recollect here by Danford. Cutting to the high slot, feeds it to the back door, and that sharp angle try. Daig got in the way, then trying to put it in behind him, but Daig sticks out his right skate and gets in the way of that desperation try to keep that one out and keep his team ahead by 3. As it was McQueen there jamming at it down low, nearly getting his 4th point of this one. As we mentioned, he's been involved in all 3 of the Team White goals in this one. As the 4th overall pick of the Brandon Wheat Kings. But again, Gabriel Dake's 2nd overall pick in the QMJHL to Victoriaville. Has again put on a show here, particularly in these 1st and 3rd periods. 6'3", 191 is Team Black's goaltender out of Sorel Tracy, Quebec. This is Xavier Veilleux, who has a goal in this one. Couldn't get it far enough ahead now, and Petrie carries it on a 2-on-1. Dishes middle, and that wrister goes wide from Lindstrom as he was tied up the whole way through and still got a good shot away. Looks like it'll be Veilleux going to the box for the hook. And you'd usually call that a very necessary penalty, but Lindstrom, despite being hooked on that play, still got a clean shot away. Off to the box goes Veilleux. A quick note on Lindstrom. He had a 60-point season in the U17 ranks of the CSSHL last year, playing for Delta, same place that Gavin Garland on Team White plays for, but also got into 6 games with the Medicine Hat Tigers in the WHL, and one of the bigger players on the ice. You saw him driving toward the front of the net there, listed at 6'5", 190 pounds. Showed off that offensive panache there. And he's setting up at the far circle. That's Lindstrom with the puck now. Putting it middle, though, picked off by Frasca. And the Kingston Frontenac prospect shoots it all the way down ice. He played for the Mississauga Senators this year, did Frasca. They won the OHL Cup. Frasca had 35 points in 28 games over the course of the season. 17th overall pick by Kingston. Zonin carries in here for White. Shot that one wide. Black back out to neutral they come. Lindstrom again, getting a ripper of a wrister away that time, and a good save. Another try from Dickinson, and that ricochets off of George and up and over the end glass. So Team Black not yet halfway through this power play as we see William McIsaac there. 5 games played for Spokane in the WHL this year, where he was the 28th overall pick. 6'3", 170. Along with Lindstrom, one of the bigger players on this camp roster this year. All the best 06-born players from across the country converging here, put onto 5 teams as we mentioned, so Black is the one team that will play 2 games today over the course of our 3-game schedule. And from 5 teams, they get pared down to 3 that will play at the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge coming up in Langley and Delta. Of course, that Langley Event Center, an absolutely magnificent facility, has been wanting for events like this after years and years of being unable to host them. Going to be a great impact for many communities across the country to see events like the World U17, Centennial Cup, SO Cup, TELUS Cup getting back to their normal hosting styles. There's an offside carry in there. We'll take this face-off back out to neutral. Of course, great for the development of Canadian hockey talent are events like that. The U17 Hockey Challenge is a Hockey Canada event as opposed to a double IHF event in which you have 3 Canadian teams plus 5 international teams that come to the host location, and those international squads have varied throughout the years. Used to be there were 5 Canadian teams representing different regions and provinces, but that's been pared down in recent years. So here now is Malcolm Spence dishing it to the far side. This one comes back across as Black with still some time to go in there. Power play. Catton dishes across. Now up to Muse again with some space in the high slot. The high wrister misses. Caught up in behind the cage there. Brunicky poked it free but couldn't keep possession. The teammate though in Danford can knock it up the wall. Try to chase it down himself and does get it ahead for a successful clearance by Baudouin that goes all the way down. And that'll do it for the penalty to Team White as Veilleux will get back on the ice here. They're back to even strength. 4 successful PKs here for Team White. It's a good speed in by Ryder Ritchie. He scored a goal this way earlier in the period. That time the puck just rolled off his stick, as it did back in the second period, you may remember, when he had probably Team Black's best chance of the game, or of that second period, I should say. Another sharp angle try, caught up in the blue paint there, but it ends up deflecting wide. Another chance now for Malcolm Spence, turning and shooting. Good butterfly save again by Carter George. Boy, has he just gotten better and better as this game has gone on, and showing no ill signs after a rough first period. You love to see that from a goaltender. knowing how much the mental game plays into things, as that's an offside glove down by Liam Greentree that'll take the face-off out to neutral ice. So often you'll see a goaltender who gets off to a bad start. Maybe the first shot goes in, maybe the first 3 shots go in, and it becomes tough for a goaltender to recover. Well, Carter George has shown in that Team White net that you're never out of it. And since allowing 5 in that first period, he's only allowed 1 goal in the second and third combined, and has racked up a few real noticeable saves in this one. So great to see as Team White continues to try to push for a comeback here. They do trail by 3, and there's only about half a period to go. But we've seen teams score quickly, and there, nearly a point-blank goal for Liam Greentree, but again, Daig absolutely robs him. Greentree was open at that left side of the net, and Daig just sort of dove forward towards him to cut down the angle. Number 24, White, robbed of what could have been a key mid-third period goal. Now Lee Tallien took a bit of an awkward collision in front of the penalty box as he's heading back towards the benches. And White trying to take advantage with McQueen carrying in, turning and shooting, and Daig is statuesque in the crease, holding on to that one for another whistle. So Lee Tallien heading off to the bench there as he's being attended to by the training staff. Again, it was just a board battle there in front of the penalty boxes, and looked like he just caught a stick a little bit awkwardly there. Hopefully no worse for wear, as he's had a magnificent game here in this, the second to last game that Team Black will play at this camp. White wins the draw, but that splits their defense. Wu back to collect here as he was harassed quite vociferously by Marek Van Acker, but still managed to keep possession, and now Wu has it again. Leaving for Brunicky to shoot it in from the red. And White trying to go to work here. Leading in shots 29-23, but trailing this game 6-3. Wu recollecting back at his own blue here. Now Brunicky. Back on over to Wu. Winnipeg native, dished off to the far side again, and now Varconi takes a stretch pass at neutral, speeds his way in, drops it off to Wu, but it was out of his reach. And now Black's got numbers to carry the other way. Van Acker the carry in. Trying to dish that one middle, and a sliding block of that one. Was that Wu again? No, that's Wu putting that to neutral. It was Brunicky who slid to get in the way of that one. Now pressuring here is Zonin for White as he cuts behind the cage. Dishes off to Rogers, turning and shooting. Sharp angle save made by Daig, pops back in front, but re-corralled by Team Black. And the clearance, Stanford there to get in the way. Now back to Van Acker. He had it bounce off his skate that time, as there's a couple of White players there to take it away from him. And Cole Beaudoin, the Canada native, will put it out to the center circle, but it's taken right back by Caswell to carry in. Rogers got in his way, but Caswell still got possession. Pressured at the half wall. And has to recollect here, try to pool cue it down low. He does, get it to Van Acker. Trying to return to Caswell, but again, good job by Team White to disrupt. They'll try to reverse it up this near side now and start a breakout. Walton's through center. Kieran Walton, the Torontonian who played for North York in the GTHL last year. 60 points in 43 games for him. Drafted by Sudbury in the OHL, 28th overall. Caden Petrie now gets to it for Black. Puts this out to the red, and it's intercepted. Carry back in again by Gavin Garland this time. Couldn't bust his way to the front of the net that time, though. Team Black can softly send it to the neutral zone. Caden Lindstrom the carrying. Big 6'5" forward, spinning with it at the wall. Had it poke checked free by Walton. And White quickly getting this out to neutral. Walton leading the rush, could be a 3-on-2. Dishes middle, and there's the shot from McQueen. He scores! 2 goals and 4 points in this game for Roger McQueen of Team White. And he's pulled his team to within 2 again. Fourth overall pick of Brandon in the WHL. Rookie of the Year in Saskatchewan's AAA ranks last season. 5th in league scoring with 61 points in 41 games, and you see exactly why right there. Guy's already got 12 games of major junior experience with Brandon last season and has been showing off his talents throughout this tournament. There he's been in on every single goal that Team White has scored in this one, and now he's got the puck again behind his net, and he's looking for more. McQueen puts it off a stick into Team Black's territory. They go to work on the forecheck here. Martone couldn't keep possession though, but another chance with a high wrister that just missed the target. As again, Jonas Wu slaps it to the slot, but Black with a quick intercept. Then a high bouncer, looking for the stretch feed for Berkeley Catton, but a good glove down. Braden Rogers now in his own end. Over to Wu. Just over 6 minutes to go. White needs 2 goals. We saw them score twice in the span of 61 seconds back in the second period, so we certainly know it's possible. Caswell here on the carry-in, or rather Dickinson, shooting that one high. And now Spence took a bump to get that back to the end wall. Centering feed comes off top for Fluker, and that one is denied as well. Now Ritchie has the lone Team Black goal of this third period. Spinning with it at the circle, dishes middle, that bounced off a stick. And then White just knifing it all the way down to Team Black's end as they head off for an important change. Team White without 3 players in their lineup, plus their leading scorer, Luca Testa, was listed on the line sheet but did not play in this one as it's fed back to the slot. Gabriel Frasca trying to jam it free, couldn't do it. But a recollect here by Danford at the blue line. He had it poke check free, and Black could have numbers the other way, but goaltender George going to come out to play it. Nicely gets it out to the neutral zone. Now again, it's Harrison Brunicky carrying in. Trying to cut around the defensive Fluker. Couldn't quite do it. But the pressure continues down in the corner here for Team White. Brunicky, one-handing it down to Gavin Garland. Drives his way in behind the cage, then knifes it up to the point. And that one from Danford whistles wide. Again, a chase down here for Team Black. Onside for the carry-in by Lowe. He'll center it, a wide open chance, and L'Italien is denied by George. Great save again by Team White's goaltender, and good to see L'Italien back on the ice after we saw him being attended to on the bench after his last shift. Now Greentree, he's got some room to carry in. Harangue from behind and still got a shot away, but Daig was up to the task and got in the way. No penalty on that one that time. Another chance, Baudouin, but it bounced off his skate. He'll spin away from his numerical counterpart, Muse, and put it back down low. Again, Team White here with Greentree, who's had 2 good chances in this third period, been denied on both of them. Baudouin couldn't get that down low. William McIsaac the other way for Black. Cut off by Veilleux, but still got it around back of the cage. Here now is Jonas Wu, who's played plenty for Team White on the back end today. Gotten out to neutral for Zonin. Bouncing puck eventually settled down, and Wu will lead the rush. Turn and shoot, that was blocked by Muse. Another try, just poked wide left of the net. Zonin got in there and pounced on that opportunity. Veilleux at the blue line. Jams it down the wall. McIsaac gloved it down. And Team White's offside, so that's why Zonin has to retreat there. And Black has some time to set up. Fed all the way down by Black. And that'll be icing that time. There were 2 players. Could have been the intended target of that pass, but it was just enough out of the reach of both of them that it goes all the way down. And now it's going to be an offensive zone draw for Team White with time dwindling in this third period. We get a look there at Marek Van Acker. We'll see him again at 7 o'clock tonight. Played for the Brantford 99ers in the Ontario AAA ranks last year. 23rd overall pick of the Hamilton Bulldogs. Almost 2 points a game for him last season. 45 points in 23 games. As close as you can get to 2 points a game without it being 2 points a game. As White trying to put this one middle. Sorry, we were told there would be no math. As Van Acker sweeps it ahead, just out of the reach of Deriso. He'll get back to it at the end wall, though. Driving his way to the corner, but he's cut off. And White, with his 2-goal deficit, potentially getting close to empty net time here. Their final game of this weekend. Showing some great tenacity after a tough start for them in the first period. Dominating the second and staying right with Black here in the third. Players tumble. Looks like another penalty coming up to Team White. Yes, it is. And Black is going to get a late power play here, which could be the dagger in terms of White's comeback hopes. Now, that said, both teams have pulled off some really nice shorthanded opportunities in the now 7 power plays we've had in this game. This will be the 8th. 5th one of the game for Team Black. And they'll try to put an exclamation point on this one as Braden Rogers heads to the box. Rogers, as we said, youngest player on the ice for this game. 15 years old. Will turn 16 on November the 21st. But he'll be in the box for 2 or less, and Team Black goes to work on the power play. Spence dishes it down to the corner. And now Catton at the wall. Fluker back to Catton. That one comes back to Catton here, retreating to the half boards. Berkeley Catton, double team, got it out to the point again, and Fluker's got some space. Dishes it across to Spence. Back down low it comes. And that feed through the middle has to be settled down by Catton at the half wall again. Dished across, and there's Dickinson shooting, and a good stop through traffic from George. Again now Fluker. To keep in on the blue to Ritchie, shooting, and a good blocker save again by George. Dickinson. Down low, it's going to come to Ritchie on the corner. Up to Catton at the point this time. Zigzagging with it. Pressured nicely by Lindstrom. Or rather by Walton, I should say. That's going to deflect all the way back down to Team Black's end. Fluker again. Ahead for Spence. Had some good position on a defender there, but White jam it free. Now they got a 2-on-2 rush shorthanded. Gavin Garland leading that rush. Flings it in front, and it's picked off by Sam Dickinson just before Baudouin could have gotten to it for White. Now Muse. Carrying his way in for Black. Drops it off for Ritchie. Got a goal in this period. Looking to put things to bed with a power play goal. There's a huge hit by Spence behind the play as he ran over Xavier Veilleux of Team White, but he got right back up and rejoins the play as you see him skating in there at the right side of your screen. Took a big, big hit. You could hear it there as it crunched into the plexiglass, but got right back up. Now a 2-on-nobody breakaway as the shot for Petrie. He scores! 2-on-nobody for Team Black there to cap this one off with a power play goal. Caden Petrie with a marvelous finish of that one. 18th overall pick of Flint in the Ontario Hockey League. Point-a-game guy with Vaughan in the GTHL last season. Set up perfectly there to sweep that one in along the right side. And put Black ahead 7-4. We'll see what the post-game festivities entail in this one. On day one, it was overtime and a shootout regardless of score. Then that became just a shootout regardless of score for the staffs to see a little bit of what these players can do and what does become a really important part of international hockey competitions. It's important to make sure you know who can convert in the shootout. Sometimes it's the players you least expect. As here comes Team White. Trying to have the last word in this one with McQueen shooting, and he nearly had his 5th point, but it deflects off a stick and over the end glass. And that'd certainly be apropos for number 14 of Team White, who you see right there. I know Peter Labardi has probably talked enough about him to cover the both of us over the course of this tournament, but with McQueen finishing off his camp, worth noting once more, 6 goals for him now in this weekend set, and 2 assists in this morning game as well. So currently leads all players at this weekend camp in terms of offensive production. Certainly turning a lot of heads in terms of the many Hockey Canada staff who are here with their notebooks out, figuring out who's going to be coming back to wear the maple leaf in November. As 3 Canadian teams will go for gold in Langley. Zonin put it down the dasher. Danford bouncing it toward the slot. Zonin in, battling for this. But Black will spin it free with 5 seconds to go. Poke down to Team White's end. One last chance for Carson Wetch as he's tripped up into the end wall. But Team Black will head back and celebrate a convincing 7-4 win. Scored 5 in the first period from 5 different goal scorers. Then had to hold off a really furious Team White attack in the second frame as they made it close with a 3-goal outburst. But then it was Black opening the scoring less than a minute in from Ryder Ritchie. Roger McQueen evened the period scoring in the late stages for his 4th point of the morning. But that was all she wrote. Team Black will take this one at 7-4 despite a disadvantage on the shot count of 33-27. So again, despite the high scoring totals, it's a 20-save performance for Carter George, who got a lot better as the game went on, particularly in that second period where he was perfect. And here in the third, only allowing the 1 goal on a really good shot from Ritchie. But then once again, it's Gabriel Daig really showing off his prowess. As we get set for the shootout here, we'll see a little bit more of that. Daig ends up with 29 saves on 33 shots, and you got to figure at least 5 or 6 of them were absolute beauties. Sam Dickinson to open this shootout. Tries the slapper, and he scores! Oh, what a bullet. Sam Dickinson opening up our shootout with authority there. Team White to try to respond, and they will go to Kieran Walton. A little bit slower, and with a backhand that is stopped by Gabriel Daig. So advantage Black after one round of the shootout. We'll play these after our next two games as well, regardless of score. And now Carter Lowe had the opening goal in this one. Can he cap it off? Not this time. A good save by Carter George, getting in the way of the shot. In skates Roger McQueen, 4 points in this one, but he is stoned on a point-blank try by Gabriel Daig. So after two rounds, 1-0 the advantage for Team Black. Marek Van Acker speeding his way in, trying to cut to the backhand, and he just ran out of real estate and ended up flipping it wide. But Team White has not solved Gabriel Daig quite yet. Here comes Xavier Veilleux to try to be the first to do it. Veilleux with the forehand scores, and he ties it up in round three. Just delayed for a split second and managed to slide that low one by Daig. Now Team Black trying to respond in the fourth round. Josh Fluker, the defenseman, with lots of speed, turns and shoots, roofed it, and scores! He was almost below the goal line by the time he finally got the shot away, and he manages to sneak it off the top netting and put Team Black back ahead 1-0. 2-1, I should say, ahead by one. Cole Baudouin now to try to respond for White. And the backhander is just wide on the far side. Round number 5, and a goal here would end it for Black as they lead it 2-1. To try to finish things off is Elio L'Italien, shoots and scores! And they'll play out the fifth round. But it is 3-1 for Team Black. Last chance here, Benjamin Danford speeding his way in for White, shooting it off of both posts and in. And a stylish one there. Are they going to play a sixth round? It's got to be it, right? There's a little. The goaltenders are starting to leave. All right, and we're good. So Team Black takes the shootout by a 3-2 final. Excellent performance by Gabriel Daig, who gets mauled by his teammates there. 7-4 the final in regulation. They take the extra frame shootout as well. And for Team White, the weekend is over. Some marvelous performances by them. Plenty of players ensuring their names are permanently on Hockey Canada's radar. But for Team Black, they will have a final game tonight at 7 when they take on Team Green. We thank you so much for tuning in and watching. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. For all of us here at HN Live, Corey Bro and Chris Colwell, I am Tyler King saying good afternoon from Calgary. We'll speak to you in a few hours for Game 2. It's Hockey Canada's U17 National Team Development Camp on hockeycanada.ca.